Welcome back to Hot Rod Guy Garage, and this is going to be another episode on the 300 inline six swap on the 70 Torino. So follow along with me through the intro, and we'll see what we get into today. So guys, it's been a busy week at the shop, and I've not really messed with 70 all that much. I've messed with some alternator bracket mounting stuff and ordered some parts. So another thing I've said when starting on this project, this was going to be a budget build. And it absolutely is. Unfortunately, 300 inline six parts are very expensive. So we'll go over that here in just a few. I'm going to flip the camera around and show you this alternator bracket solution that I have. And we're going to get this motor janked out here today sometime. Just get this project back rolling. So guys, here we are. As you can see, I've took the sniper and the hat and all that stuff. It was just sitting there. I took it off this morning. But the alternator bracket, I actually used a 300/600 EFI bracket and actually cut it down right there until it was just pretty much the pivot and the 3 mounting bolt holes to the block. And the reason why I've done that, I'm not going to use this Ford 2G alternator with its offset mount. I'm going to use a more conventional 3G or a 4G style alternator. And that alternator has a straight up and down tab here. You know, you're going to be 12 and 6 o'clock mount. So what I done, I come in here and I figured this bolt right here is not used. So I come in here and cut one of these old chrome alternator brackets down and shortened it and bent it around so it comes out level with the 12 o'clock position. This will be roughly all the way in, which still gives us plenty of clearance to the manifold, even though I'll probably make a heat shield there. And it gives us plenty of room for the EFI water pump heater tube, which is not attached, but I do got a new one over there on the floor. So basically what I'm going to do for belt routing, now that I have a mechanically tensioned alternator, the back of the belt will run on the back side of this pulley and spin it in the proper direction for the reverse flow water pump. Unfortunately, that means I'm not going to be able to run a mechanical fan. I do not have the room for a stock truck clutch fan, so I'll have to figure that out later further along with the swap. But so far, this appears like it's going to work just fine. I've done Mustangs like that in the past, and they worked out well. So today, we got to get this motor out of the car. That way I can start prepping the engine bay for the swap. And like I said before, I'm going to do some painting in here and touching up stuff. So we'll go over the parts I got. So guys, I got my transmission kit here, which is a Alto Red Eagle with Colleen steel kit. That's what we're going to put in the C6. Still waiting on a few other little parts. Got my new water pump. Got my oil pump pickup tube. I got a DuraSpark distributor to put in it. Plug wires, you know, throttle cable and some spark plugs and stuff of the proper heat ranges. I did grab a stall converter, which is ironically the same converter I had behind the big block. And the piping to do the turbo kit. Obviously still waiting on flanges and things like that, but I got stuff to build my downpipe and my hot side. And in hindsight, that is just a small taste of what I have got so far. But that's what's come in the past few days that I've been waiting on. And at this portion, we can kind of go into the budget thing. I set a $3,500 budget for this motor. Mostly because it being a 300 inline six, I didn't want to spend a bloody fortune on it. Unfortunately, like I said, parts are high for these things, guys. So I'm already pretty deep into a $300 motor and a free transmission, to the point where it would make me sick if, you know, I didn't have the money to do this at this point. But I sold my big block. I come out pretty okay. Most of it's gone at this point, unfortunately. So A lot of work for, probably gonna have a power drop, but I don't know how much. Uh, in the end, it's gonna be a cool swap, and I believe y'all will really enjoy it. But let's go over the budget stuff. So, guys, like I said, budget $3,500. I've come down here and itemized everything I've got. Gave $300 for that motor, transmission, but he gave me that. So the cam kit, intake, head studs, oil pan, gasket set. I went ahead and got rod, main bearings, and rings preemptively. Motor mounts, all this stuff right here, guys. All this little stuff adds up. I've already bought turbo wastegates, all that good stuff. So, I just kind of went in here and itemized everything as I was ordering things. And we're at $3,063 and a penny. Um, I'm still below my budget, but there's things that I don't have that I will need, like the fuel system stuff to connect actually to a sniper. So I got a bunch of stuff I need to do, and the camera's probably a little shakier than normal. So I got a ton of stuff I need to do. Like I said before, we're going to have to build the transmission. We're going to have to tear this motor down and inspect everything. Probably gap rings and things like that. And obviously, I've got a bunch of paint work and cleanup work and stuff like that to do. So, I didn't intend for this car to stay down for a long time. So this is going to be kind of a fast rolling project, is why I mocked the car up like I did and left the motor in it as long as I have. Because the more stuff I can figure out what I need, the more stuff I can order and have it sitting here for when it's time to really hammer this thing out, that I can put it together. But like I said, the big thing is I got to get this motor and transmission back out of here today. I need to get that motor on an engine stand. I need to get the transmission split back apart. And then we can get into the fun stuff of actually seeing 100% of what I bought. Like I said, I've not heard the motor run. I took the guy at his word. The truck was legit, little old man truck with the mileage. What I've seen so far with the valve cover and oil pan off does not scare me. So I have no reason to doubt the motor's still got cross-hatching cylinders running a bore scope in it, so there's really nothing that could be hidden other than maybe some worn bearings or, worn piston rings. So I know a lot of y'all will probably cringe about how I'm going to build this motor, but this is, like I said, it's a budget build, guys. And I will probably build a built rod piston, crank motor in the future. But for now, we got to see what the stocker will do with just some bolt-on stuff. I did take some liberty and bought a turbo that I think will work. It's something I've used on stock, 302 applications. 306 is a 300 cubic inch motor, so it should behave absolutely no different spool characteristics than a 302, because that 2 cubic inches does not make a big deal in airflow. So we'll just have to see what happens and where we get today, but let me get to pulling this motor out. Well, it's a little while later. I got the transmission crossmember stuff back out of it and got the motor mounts loose and off. So I got the motor out of the car. It's on its way out. So I'm going to get it out, get it over here in the floor, or I can give me some engine stand bolts to mount the block to my engine stand. I may even have to take one of these Mercruiser motors off, because I do have a 4-legged engine stand. I'm afraid of the frontal weight on the 3-leg with this 6-cylinder. But once I get it out, I can get the frame mounts off of it and take them with me to the shop and finish welding them. Or I can finish welding them here. As far as bracing control arms back together, this can be pretty simple. We'll go into that in another episode a little later on. But I did make sure to check all that stuff before I pulled the motor back out. So let's get this thing out, get it on the engine stand, and I'll be back here in a little while, guys. And And alright guys, I'm here on the floor at this point. I need to check the converter, the flex plate. This has the 4OD flex plate still on it. I measured bolt pattern and the crank pilot and stuff before, so I could order the right converter for the car. So there's something you do need to check anytime that you do something like this, is make sure your bolt pattern lines up and you don't have any interference with your flex plate. So I do have a little, and I'll show you what I get going on. And alright, so got our new converter here, and if you hold it up here, I know y'all can't see it, but there's a lip right here on this flex plate, and with me holding this in the pilot here, our bolt pattern lines up great, but you can see the corner of that bolt tab right there hits the lip on the flex plate. So that will be easy enough to fix. Just have to kind of 45 this edge right here, and we will have plenty of clearance. So that's it guys, always check that stuff, because if you went and bolted that down, you'd bent your flex plate, could have caused vibration or had other problems if you run into something like that. So it was just worth me noting and showing y'all. I'm gonna get the flex plate off the motor over here, get the block plate off of it. I'm gonna fit up one of my engine stands, see how long of a bolt I need. Dig around here in the garage, see what I got. So wish me luck, and I'll be. At least several hours later, and I finally got the engine on the engine stand back here. So pretty much guys, you know, big gap in between the last clip and this clip. I went to the shop and waited on somebody to show up that said they were on their way, and they never did. But I got my engine stand bolts, got it bolted up, got a board under the front of it just to kind of, you know, support the frontal weight. So I guess next step, and it's going to be in the next video, we're going to tear this motor down, and we'll start on the motor first, and you know, get all the stuff installed in it, get it tore down, check the bearings and rings and stuff. I need to get that to the machine shop. I am going to have it ported and valve job stuff done to it. This is preliminary measure, because I don't think a stock cylinder head is going to get us where we want to go, and that way we can have some flow data on a professional port job on a 306 cylinder head. So I don't know how far we're going to go. We may just do some bolt work, some block cleanup. Probably not going to go to a big valve right now. But if you like this kind of content guys, make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, and most importantly hit that subscribe button. I'm going to kind of leave this one here. Like I said, next one we're going to tear this motor down and start to come back up from here. So I'll see you at the next one guys. Thanks for watching.